welcome back to M&M's Construction Cost Management TED Talk session. For today, we'll be going through our assignment 2 for civil engineering measurement. Here I'm sitting with Enid Monet, and we'll just be going through the BOQ we received for the project that we'll take you through and critically analyzing it and just seeing all the elements measured and see if that actually correlates to how the SANS 1200G stipulates. So for this presentation, I will take you through a brief background of what the project is about, the magnitude and specification for this actual construction process, and it will start off with the critical analysis of the BOQ, which we'll be looking at the concrete works, the formwork, and the reinforcement, and I'll take over from her, where I will critically analyze the joints that were measured in the bill and all the various other items, and will thereafter conclude. So the background of the project is the Howick West Reservoir that we received, and this is more on the upgrade of the actual reservoir. So the Howick West Reservoir Complex is the main distribution node that has been there for all the surrounding areas around the municipality of Mgeni. And this main complex serves as a water supply to the main Howick West Reservoir, which flows to all the different pump stations around it. But the upgrade came about because the municipality wanted to actually develop the communities around and build low-income housing, therefore requesting a higher water supply. The previous water supply was at 16 megaliters, which essentially is 1 million liters for 1 megaliter. And we can see that the total storage went up to 32.5 megaliters that was required to serve all the different communities around it. So the project spec actually increased, and if you see here that the project actually came up to 52 million just for the upgrade of the reservoir, and the capacity that was actually needed to be upgraded was 60 mil, and the construction period was at 1 year. So it was actually quite extensive, very complex, quite a lot of money, but this is the project that we received and we were to evaluate. So Enid will take you from here and actually go into the BOQ that we got.
Thank you, Julia. I'm going to take you guys through SANS 1200G and the reservoir's bill of quantity that was obtained. The reservoir is located in KZN, and this is the plan of the reservoir, and this is an image obtained from Google Maps. So this SANS is just exactly like the other SANS on how it's divided. It's divided among 8 clauses, but we're going to focus just on the 8th clause, which is the measurement and the payment clause. So also this SAN has divided itself into 6 smaller categories, whereby there's small works, ordinary buildings, structural precast, pre-stressed concrete, and the structural concrete, and we are going to focus on the structural concrete. From the bill of quantity that was obtained, the following items were noted on concrete. There was an item on no fine concrete, there was blinding, there was concrete shear pads. The strength of the concrete items, we had assumed that it was the normal Porto cement because there was no specific cement specified for it, and there was a typo error on strength. For no fines concrete, the item was correctly measured as the SANS clause 8.1.32 states that different types of concrete should be measured separately, and therefore no fines concrete was measured separately, and it was measured in meters squared, which is accurate as it should be measured as blinding because it's such a small item. We had then searched and looked into shear pads, and we had noticed that they're actually strength concrete that were kept underneath the floors, and therefore we corrected it and put it under strength concrete. From the BOQ obtained, the following formwork items were noted. The boxing hinge should have been separated with a separate heading, and it was incorrectly measured because it was measured in meters, while the SANS specified that it should be measured in numbers. There was the frequent use of sides off, even though they had already specified that it was either vertical or horizontal. The reservoir walls had an incorrect payment clause. The sloping sides were measured vertical, although they had specified that it is 3 degrees off vertical, which means it should have just been vertical, as vertical includes anything from 0 degrees to 10 degrees. The propping heights were not included, and there was a miscellaneous formwork item. However, considering those errors that were obtained, this is what we had assumed is supposed to be corrected. For the reservoir walls that had a wrong payment clause, we had assumed they were trying to specify rough formwork, and therefore we kept a different item for rough formwork as it's the outer walls of the reservoir. And the boxing in, we then gave it a specific heading, and the item is now indicated in number, and after that we edited to remove the sides off as it's already specified as vertical, and therefore the items just remain as upstand beams, reservoir wall base, column bases, and the others. In accordance to SANS 1200G, the reinforcement is measured with 25mm diameter bars, and this is then divided into high tensile or the mild steel in accordance to the specifications, and thereafter there is extra over for all the other diameter steel bars. In accordance to the bill that was obtained, we had noted the following errors. The 25 diameter was not specified. The engineers just wrote various diameters. There was no extra over items, and from the calculations that we calculated, we were able to determine that the ratio that they had used between the high tensile and the mid tensile was 66 to 34. So with those errors, we then corrected it into the reinforcement. We now specified the 25 diameters and then added the extra overs, and the same for the mild steel and added the extra over items. In accordance to SANS 1200G, the testing is clause 7, which indicates the concrete strength. However, our bill of quantity that was obtained contained more than just the strength of the concrete. It contained the testing of the reservoir, which was indicated as PSG 7.4.1, with PSG reference relates to the project specifications, and this was also the same for the second one, which includes the sterilizing of the reservoir. And after that, they had gone to testing for the concrete strength, which this had no payment reference, but then we could go back to use the payments clause of 7.3. And lastly, there was testing for compaction of the in-situ and backfilling material. This can go to relate with SANS 1200D, which is the earthworks.
The joint section of our BOQ. In accordance to our SANS 1002G, we know that when it comes to measuring construction joints, they're all measured in separate items in accordance to the type of construction joint it is, the size of it, the quality of the water bars, and other factors. So every single type of construction joint has to be separated in accordance to SANS 1000G, and the measurement unit of your construction joint is in linear meters. And when we look at the unit cost of your construction joint, this includes the material, the cost of actually constructing or putting it into your works, erection of your formwork, making good of any damages if there is. This is just a general overview of your construction joints. So when we go and look at our joints in the bill, it was fairly accurately measured, but these are the areas that we actually noticed. So there was no payment reference clause in our actual bill, and we can just see it here. Our construction joints have no reference to the SANS 1000G, and with this, we know that our construction joints referred to clause 8.5. So that could have been inserted into our bill as a correction, and that will be the relevant payment clause related to it. And the next area was the unit of measurement was actually correct because it was in linear meters as stipulated there. So that was actually in accordance to SANS 1000G. And the types of construction joints were all separated in accordance to the type and the sizes. So that was in accordance to how your construction joints should actually be measured. So that was good on their part. And the one thing that we did notice is the joint measurements did include the types, the sizes, but were fairly lengthy in their description. So I had the highlighted parts of what the descriptions could have been, because we know that from the heading above, construction joints didn't have to be really included in the description, and because there is a reference to the detail in the drawings, all the other words could have been left out to have a more concise description. So that would just be a suggestion into having a more shorter reference to the types of descriptions in the bill. And now we'll just look at our precast elements. So the first item is there were 3 precast elements in our bill of quantities that weren't necessarily measured in accordance to SANS 1200G, and there were no payment reference clauses stipulated. So the first one was our roof planks. So if you look here, there's no payment reference clause, and again, a very lengthy and descriptive description, which could have been avoided because this is in the specifications in the drawings given to the contractor. so a more concise description could have been used there, but we did note that it was measured in the correct units of measurement in accordance to SANS, because all precast elements should be measured in number. So, and the correct use of correct reference clause would have been 8.6. That would have been placed there, but was omitted. And the next item is our precast concrete steps. So this element again, this is a detail of how the steps do look, and that was given in our drawings. And this is just a section through the stairs. So with this, again, no pavement reference clause was shown, but what we did notice is, because this is a structural element, this would be measured in accordance to SANS 1200 GE. Because of this would be different in the clause that would be used to reference. The clause that would be relevant would be 8.2.1 in accordance to SANS 1200 GE. But because in this clause, the elements can be measured either in linear meters, meters cubed, meters squared, or a number. So the unit of measurement is correct, but we do suggest that because the detail is given in the drawing, it would be easier for the contractor if it was measured in number, as the lengths are stipulated in the specification in details. And another reoccurring, not error but observation, is that the descriptions are quite lengthy. So to make them shorter would have just been to leave our supply and installation of precast, because that we know that according to the SANS, this is included in the unit cost, and because the reference of the drawing detail is in the description, everything else in between could have been omitted. And the last item evaluated was our precast manhole. So with this item again, it was correctly measured in terms of the description that it did follow the SANS 1200G, but there was no payment reference made. So the accurate, or the one that would be used, would be 8.6 clause. And again, the description is quite lengthy. It's just a general overview of the whole BOQ received for the Howard Reservoir. We did find that there were very lengthy descriptions that could have been more condensed, and the grouping of elements could have been improved. All precast elements were either on different pages and weren't all together, so such as your air ventilators, your roof planks, and your precast manholes could have been together with a main subheading. Certain elements didn't have payment reference clauses, and there was a clear indication of drawing references, so this could have helped the engineer in just making more condensed descriptions. But the bill was very descriptive. We noticed that the engineer did go to the length of making sure the contractor knows what is included in the unit price. There were minor errors that were adopted along the way, but it is a very extensive bill due to the magnitude of the work.